So I wanted to tell a quick story about that whole journey because all of us have a journey. And my journey actually started, I did extremely well when I was in high school. And I think around the 11th grade, I was really pondering on what I was going to do with my life. I did not want to stay in Cleveland. I did not like what I was seeing around me. So I wanted something different. I graduated number 8 in my class, but there were no resources. There were no one trying to encourage you to go to college or anything. So I was walking to the mall one day, you guys, and then I saw a sign up there. It says $25,000 for the Army College Fund. So I was like, oh, wow, $25,000, then my mom and dad won't have to worry about money for college or anything. So of course, here I go with my little shy self. It was like a drawing. It drew me in because I saw that would really take the load off, the weight off of my parents. And I went and signed up. I was in the 11th grade when I signed up. And then I kind of forgot about it. They had an early entry program at the time. And so I went to the mall, boom, Army College Fund. I was like, wow, $25,000, that's mine. I'm going to go to school. I want to do something with my life. And that was the beginning of the decision for my journey where I am today. Because every decision that we make moves us toward another arena in our life. And so here I am, 18 years old. Let me just preference this. Never been away from home. Never really done anything significant because I was super shy. When I was a kid, I was a bookworm, stayed in the books. I did all of that, tried to be the good girl. So I was like, I got it. You guys ever have that calling, that yearning on the inside of you, knowing that there's something more that I know I'm supposed to be doing? And so the Army, the United States Army, actually helped me propel to where I am today. And so, yes, it was uncomfortable. Yes, I learned a whole new world. Like I said before in a few other videos back in June, in Cleveland, Ohio at the time, what I remember as a kid was that African Americans lived on one side of town and then Caucasians lived on another side. And so it was very segregated. And I don't even remember that much segregation in my school desegregation in my school. So boom, I get launched into the United States Army. I'm 18, freaking out, totally afraid, but I made a decision. I made a commitment, and I was going to stick with my commitment. If that's one thing, one out of the many things I can say is my parents really taught me to learn how to make commitments and have integrity to stick with your commitment. And so I went into the Army. I remember that first day, I could not believe I had never been in an airplane out of Cleveland at all until I went into the United States Army. So there was a lot of firsts that happened when I was 18. And I believe truly that those uncomfortable decisions to sign up and go into the Army, to get on the plane, to fly out to somewhere I had never been, to go somewhere that I don't even know anybody around me and not even know what I was getting ready to get plunged into. I was getting ready to experience boot camp. And you know all of the stories that we've heard about boot camp. And so here I am, this little person out here in the world. If that's how I felt. And I remember this one scene. And when you get off the airplane, they have people there ready to pick you up. But when we loaded up in what I would call cattle cars. That's what it looked like. There was only one window in that big old truck, and it had all of us in there. And we were looking around like, what have we gotten ourselves into? Really, that's how it felt. It was like, what have I done? I was like, I'm supposed to be in my little cubbyhole with my mom and dad, my sisters and brothers. But here I am on this cattle car. You got a drill sergeant staring at you, looking very mean. And so then I'm like, okay, maybe this is going to get better. We get to they took us way deep, deep back somewhere. I don't even know where it was. And we get out, and then all of a sudden, that's when reality really hit me. And the drill sergeants, they were like, come on, private, come on, get to your place. I need you to get over there. And I'm like, you need to step out. You need to get out of my way. So what are you doing yelling at me? And that was the beginning of my journey. And that's how it launched me, I truly believe, into this wonderful place that I am today. You know, sometimes one of my favorite statements, I heard this woman of God preach a long time ago. She said, the journey to obedience is terrifying, but you must go anyway. So sometimes there's some things that we have to do, and we don't even know what we've decided, you know, what's all in what we're going to do. But we do it anyway. We do it with our knees shaking. If you've ever started a business, if you've ever thought about dreaming, if you've ever wanted to do something significant with your life, it is not an easy coast to do that thing. It is really a journey of moments that you are extremely unsure of which way you're going. You're afraid, all of that good stuff. So that was how I was in the military. I stayed in for 2.5 years. And then I got out because I was ready to go out and pursue some other things that I believe that God was calling me to. And so that's how my young self was in the military. But I tell you what, you guys, I would not take that back at all. I would not trade that journey for anything because I learned so much when you talk about serving others. First of all, just think about it. I'm 18. I'm totally self-centered. I'm totally selfish. And now I got to get into this group of people and learn how to be a team. Here we are taking a civilian and making them into a soldier. I hope you can hear what I'm talking about, because that is truly what happens to us when we come into the body of Christ. We move from those civilians to kingdom people. In the Army, I moved from being a civilian to a soldier. And now let's talk about some of the traits, because that's what this day is all about. It's about those who decided that I'm going to serve my country. Whatever reason that you did it, that was mine. That might have been a little bit on the selfish side, to be honest, but it put me in the right path so that I can do what I'm doing today. And one thing that I can say that the Army taught me is discipline. It also taught me integrity. And it also taught me how to band together as a team to protect and to serve one another. And that's why I really think I got a great head start when it came to my career, when it came to what God called me to do, because that discipline is so vital, so critical for you to be able to do anything that God has called you to do. So I'm talking to you now. You might not have joined the military, but you have joined all of those here on the earth that are searching and seeking to manifest your purpose or your destiny while you're down here on this earth. And what I mean by that, our gift makes room for us and brings us before great men. See, each and every one of us have a gift, have a dream, have a vision on the inside of us. And our call is to serve that gift to humanity. Right now, I'm serving my gift to you so that you can be inspired. I'm serving my gift to you. So when you figure out what your gift is, and then you begin to start serving that to humanity, there's no greater reward to step into making a difference in someone else's life simply because you showed up and you served your gift. So all of you guys, I must say, definitely have something that you have to serve to other people. You do, or you wouldn't even be here on this earth realm. You did not come to this world, to this earth realm, just to serve yourself. Your manufacturer, God himself, looked at your talents, abilities, all of the different things that you can do well, and he put that on the inside of you before you had hands, before you had fingers, before you even had a name. You already had that on the inside of you. And so you were necessary when you showed up on the earth realm. You were necessary. Everything that he created about you is beautiful, is wonderful. And he's waiting for you to serve that gift. I don't care if it's serving that gift to your children or to whoever it is that he's called you to. Maybe he's told you to make some products. Well, what you waiting for? There's people that are waiting for your product. Maybe he told you to write a book. What you waiting for? Go ahead and share your story and bless the people that are attached to that call. But I just kind of wanted to talk about the art of serving for a minute, because one thing I can say is that we learned how to serve. And servanthood is a very powerful thing, but there is an art to serving. And the reason me and Don, we had talked about this some time ago, because we looked at all of the wonderful tennis players like Venus and Serena and, all of those guys. And one thing that we found out about the art of serving, that there's 4 different steps to the art of serving. And I'm going to share some of those because I can relate a lot of things in life with some of the things that we need to be doing if we're going to birth our dream, vision, and idea. And so the first step to the art of serving is that you got to have a strong grip. You have to have a strong grip on that tennis racket. You have to have a strong grip. And when I cross that over into our giftings and our dreams and things like that, Paul said that I will not stop until I lay hold of what he has laid hold of me for. See, Paul was saying, I'm going to grab this purpose that you've given me, no matter how difficult it is, and I'm going to lean into it, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to have a firm grip on my destiny. That's why I refuse to quit. I refuse to give up. I refuse to do anything but what you ordained me to do. I will not stop until I lay hold of what he has laid hold of me for. What has he laid hold of you for? What has he laid hold of me for? See, I have to manifest his purpose. I'm born with that purpose. And so let's look at number 2. Positioning is everything. You have got to be positioned. When you think about the tennis racket, you see how Serena holds that tennis racket. Their positioning is everything. You can't just loosely hold that tennis racket. Your positioning has to be in alignment. And when I talk about positioning in this particular sense, my position is I have to be so in alignment with the one who created me, my manufacturer, that I can hear his voice telling me, speaking to me of what I am supposed to be doing. What am I doing? Okay, am I off course right now? Manufacturer, please tell me. Oh, I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm wasting time. Okay, I hear you. Oh, in alignment, positioning. Is my heart positioned to love in spite of what happened to me? Am I positioned to forgive when God is requiring for me to forgive? Am I positioned in the relationship where I don't have hatred? I don't have bitterness in my heart, where now I can't even hear my manufacturer speak to me because I got too much bitterness on the inside of me. I'm talking about that type of positioning. I'm talking about the positioning that postures your heart up toward him so that he can lead and guide you, and so that you won't be given into your own devices in your own way, but you will be in alignment with the one that made you, the one that created you, the one that put the gold, the diamond on the inside of you, that wants you to serve that gift to humanity. Are you positioned well? Do you have a strong grip? Or do you have that spirit of stick-to-itiveness that you will not stop until you see the end of your faith or the end of your vision of what you see on the inside? And then the third one is you have to have a swing. Once they get that grip on that tennis racket and their position, then whack, there's that swing. And that swing means action. You can't just be talking about it. You have got to be being about it. You have got to put action with what you intend to do. It doesn't matter if you never move, you can get all of the ideas in the world. You can hear all of the different teaching and workshops and things until you finally start moving. That's when things will start shifting and changing for you. Until I decided that, I'm going to leave my parents' house and I'm going to go into the Army. That's when the momentum started. That's when the energy of me moving starting. And in Boss the Movement, the youth leadership program that Coach L. Hollingsworth has and that we teach to the youth, we talk about the corridor principle. And it says as you move, you draw the desires of your heart to you. So if you don't move, then nothing else moves. But when I shift the atmosphere, then things began to start moving. My desires began to start coming toward me. You guys get what I'm saying? I'm talking about action. I'm not talking about just writing it. Okay, I'm going to write down 30 goals. I'm going to write down all of my goals, but then I don't put any action steps behind it. I got to put some action behind my words. My words need to carry weight, so much so that when I speak, I know that I'm going to move and do exactly what I believe that God is telling me in that season. So you got to have a good swing. You got to have action, okay? And then you got to have a strong follow through. And that's what every great tennis player has. They have that grip. They have the perfect position. They have a swing, and then they have a follow through. Do you follow through on what you know that God has given you to do? Or have you gotten weary? Have you gotten tired? Has 2020 knocked the wind out of you? You know, that's the question that you have to discern and ascertain all by yourself. What are you going to do? Are you going to follow through with what you know he showed you? He showed you something so long ago, and you allowed the cares of the world, you allowed people, you allowed your busyness to get in the way of what he wants you to do. In other words, you stopped moving toward whatever your dream was. You stopped writing the book. You stopped creating the music. You stopped because you felt like you weren't adequate or you weren't enough or whatever our reasons are. We always try to, what word do I want to use? No, we always try to be honest, it's disobedience. When God has told us to do something, you got to have that swing. You got to keep doing it in the midst. That's where persistence come in. That's where, man, I may have made a wrong step, but God tells us that he will make our crooked place straight. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to step out on the unknown. Don't be afraid don't worry about it if nobody else is applauding you, if nobody else is cheering you on. You cheer yourself on. You cheer on the fact that you have a manufacturer that loves you so much that he's put greatness on the inside of you. And he just is there to help you get that greatness out through lessons, through the different challenges that we go through. He's there to help you. So that is my gratitude today. I am so thankful that my mom and dad were there to support me to make wise decisions. Even though I broke their heart, I guarantee you as an 18-year-old just leaving home, they were so happy and so proud of me that they saw that that was the thing that Charlene needed to do. I had to find my way. I had to figure out who I was. They put Christian core values on the inside of me so that when I went off on my own, I might have strayed a little bit, and I did. I strayed quite a bit all the way. And then I had to come back in to my foundation, to my core of integrity, to my core of loving in spite of, to my core of persistent, to my core of hard work, a strong work ethic. And so that's what I'm saying. That is what we need to be able to serve. If you want to really move your dream or whatever it is that you're working on forward, you've got to be able to get to that place of one of the things in the military is discipline. You have to discipline yourself. And this is a lifelong journey, an everyday journey, because we are always struggling with things that try to get us to stay outside of discipline. But if you can discipline your daily activities, if you can discipline your thought process from not going to the negative so quick, then you can get somewhere. You can get some things done. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I wanted to just share a few thoughts because a few people asked me about my military journey, and that is kind of my military journey. I went in, I was an LVN, I was a medic, that's what they call it. It was like a field medic, so if we were at war, we would be out there bandaging people up and stuff like that. I moved out of that, and then I went into, I decided to get my LVN and challenge the board when I got out. Then I got into strategically USF, their nursing program, their BSN, and that was amazing. And because everything, it was like favor along the way. It was like that grace. You guys know that grace that I talked about in the last video. Now, I have to add something about grace real quick, and I know I'm going long, but grace. I remembered that somebody reminded me of what Al Hollingsworth said about grace. And he said that grace must be remembered, recognized, and taken advantage of. Remember, I was talking about that grace that God will put on you, or that grace when things open up, where favor shows up and you didn't really deserve it, but it shows up anyway. It must be remembered. When you're in a moment and there's a point of decision, or there's something that God wants you to do, to step out and do something different, he gives you a grace to be able to do that. But with that grace, it must be remembered. And you must recognize that this is what, oh, wow, this is a grace that God has put on me. This is why this favor showed up. This is why this door opened up. Whatever that is. And then the most difficult thing is to take advantage of, because sometimes we don't think that we're worthy to receive this greatness that's getting ready to come our way. Well, I'm telling you, you have to take advantage of those moments where you're feeling a little like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. You always remember I talked about that 5-second rule that Mel Robbins shared in her book, where she talked about the spirit of hesitation. When as soon as the idea comes, as soon as whatever it is that you're doing, when you're feeling uncomfortable and you're getting ready to lean into something that is totally uncomfortable, there's this hesitation that comes, because what really your brain is trying to do is shut that down so that you won't move into that. But that's where you kind of back up. And that's why I like responding and not reacting. And then you allow yourself to say, no, I know this is uncomfortable. I know I've never been here, but I'm going to lean into this anyway. And one thing that God showed me about that, hey, I have been there already. I've been that way before. I got you covered. I don't care what you're worried about. I got you covered because I have been there before. So you go forward strong and in my strength, and in my confidence that he who has begun a good thing will perform it. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. You are loved and appreciated. Oh, yeah, I see all the love. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Kenitra. Hey, all. I love you guys, and I hope you are having a wonderful time. Okay, we will talk soon. I am on vacation. Yay, yay. We're going to be celebrating my baby girl, Dominique's birthday tomorrow. She will be 23 years old, and she is a blessing to her mama. She takes care of her mama. She is always, my go-to person. She's my rock. And I appreciate her for being all that she is. 23 years. And it is really a rough time for 2020 for all of our kids, for all of us, to be honest. But I just noticed how there's so many different things that are happening that if you're not careful, you'll succumb to the pressures of what 2020 brought. But I'm like this. I'm going to milk out every beautiful gift that 2020 has to bring. And that's what I choose to see. I choose to see beyond my circumstances. I choose to see beyond the negativity. And I choose to see what God has for me and what he has for me. And you is good. Okay, bye-bye.